Welcome to this recording of SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, focusing on the capabilities of the ABAP adapter. I'd like to walk you through the details of connecting, accessing, and replicating data from an SAP BW system to SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. So let's get started. Within the data builder, I have a space configured with an active BW4 system connection. Within graphical view, sources, the according connection becomes visible. In this case, it's the ABAP BW4 connection. It's important to mention at this point in time that we're using the ABAP connector to connect to the ABAP dictionary of the BW4 system. So we're connecting to the deployed objects, and we're also reusing the services of the deployed objects. In terms of reusing technical services of deployed objects from a BW4 perspective, the most relevant modeling objects are the data store objects and also the BW queries. The ABAP adapter also provides the ability to connect to the ABAP tables by itself, where again, from a BW perspective, the modeling objects from a BW perspective are the most relevant we're going to focus within this recording. So let's focus on the extractor capabilities. There are different subfolders within extractors like ABAP, CDS, BW, and SAP like Service APIs. BW4 provides CDS views, which are visible within the ABAP CDS folder. CDS views by themselves can provide the abilities to connect and also to enable real-time replication, as this is the case for S4 environments. But again, it's not a general comment, so it highly depends on how the CDS view get deployed. Let's get focused on the BW subfolder, because in the BW subfolder, the DSOs and the BW queries which are generated as a provider are visible. All right, so let's navigate down to Z, as the objects I like to focus on are within the Z namespace. Let's open the search bar. We're going to focus first on a DSO. Like there's a DSO available relevant for customer information. And that's the DSO we'd like to connect to. Again, this object is the DSO deployed by the BW application, and we're using the ABAP adapter to connect to this DSO. So let's connect to the DSO. Once we trigger the import and deploy, Data Warehouse Cloud by itself will generate a remote table to connect to the DSO within the BW4 system. Once you check the object and move to the right within the properties of the remote objects, within deployment status, the deployment status will change to deployed once the remote table has been successfully created. Just to validate that the remote table is available, we have the ability to run a data preview, which connects to the BW4 system and queries the data available within the DSO. So on the lower part of the screen, you can see the details on the data loaded to the DSO. So again, just recap. So we created the connection in terms of remote connection to connect to the BW4 system, and we can use the object right now for modeling. In terms of data replication and data access, within the data integration monitor, we do have the ability to leverage services related to the DSO. So in the lower part, this is the DSO. And again, we're reusing the services of the deployed objects. Like the ABAP adapter is not generating additional services in terms of technical services. Let's check out the data access options once we switch from remote, which is default, to replicated. The DSO by itself, always provides the ability for remote access, as we've done before with the preview. And we always provide the ability to create a snapshot, which is indicated as refresh frequency none. So this is a one-time snapshot load. You can, kick it off immediately to create a one-time snapshot. But as the DSO by itself provides delta load capabilities, the real-time replication, like the smart data integration real-time replication, also is enabled to establish a real-time replication of the data from the DSO. As you can see on the lower part of the screen, the real-time replication has been established in terms of refresh frequency, and the status right now is in initializing. So the system is now replicating the data from the DSO into a local persistency of Data Warehouse Cloud. As the amount of data is low, the real-time replication has been successfully completed and the status is now active. So at this point in time, once new data gets loaded to the DSO on the BW4 system, it gets automatically replicated into a local persistency of Data Warehouse Cloud. Let's go back to the data builder, create a new graphical view, and focus on the abilities of a query within a BW4 system. Just to set the scene, within a BW system in general, we do have the ability to generate a query as a provider. There are certain limitations related to the query capabilities which would qualify the query to be generated as a provider. And this information is available on the help pages. There are certain OLAP capabilities supported using this feature. And once you successfully generate a query as a provider, this information in terms of query becomes visible from the ABAP adapter. The query by itself is also listed within the Z namespace. And let's start the search. Okay, we identified the query. So it's a query we generated as a provider, which leverages some OLAP capabilities. And due to the fact that we are able to generate this query as a provider, this query becomes visible from the ABAP adapter. So you can check the object, the query, and run the import. And the system is now generating a remote table to connect to the query from an ABAP perspective. Again, we'll check the system, validate the deployment status as deployed. And once you want to preview the data as we generate a remote table to connect to the BW query, you can preview the data. And now that query with the limited OLAP capabilities is being executed on the BW system. Once the preview has been completed, the query result is being displayed. So this is a regular query with some BW query OLAP functionality embedded, and it provides a good starting point to show the integration of Data Warehouse Cloud with a BW4 or a BW system in general. Again, we simply created a remote table connection to the query, and now let's focus on the data integration monitor capabilities to find out what services are supported using this query. The query is listed at the lower end. It's called ZNN QR1. And now if we're interested to adjust the data access from remote into replicated because we'd like to accelerate the Data Warehouse Cloud model execution to keep data local related to the query, the system is now checking on the capabilities. And in this case, for the query, There are no technical services implemented to establish a real-time replication, but of course, you can create a snapshot like a one-time data load to create a query snapshot as a local persistency within Data Warehouse Cloud, to have the model executing a local snapshot of the query result. The importance I'd like to illustrate using the two options on leveraging the ABAP adapter to connect to BW modeled objects available from the ABAP adapter is to illustrate that the DSO by itself provides technical services which are supporting real-time replication, of course, always the federated access and the snapshot creation, where the query by itself is providing technical services to only have a federated access and to create a snapshot, like no real-time replication is supported from the query. For me, it's important to mention again that we'll have different scenarios available to integrate with BW systems and BW4 going forward, as BW4 is the innovation product for BW4 to move forward, where we'll provide further integration options with the BW system in the near future. To sum it up, connecting to a BW4 system from Data Warehouse Cloud, we have the ability to, of course, connect to any object from an ABAP dictionary perspective. Within this recording, I highlighted the ability to connect to a DSO and to a BW query, like to a BW query which can be generated as a provider. Thank you for watching this recording.